Hi everyone, my name is Srokosz, registered holistic nutritionist, meal planning mediator, and founder of lovewhatyoueat.ca. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that's kind of been pissing me off about some other articles that I've been reading in the news and on Huffington Post and things, online sources. So I've come across a couple of articles that talked about having toddlers and how to get them to eat more veggies. Basically, you can use this method for anyone in your family who's being picky and won't eat their vegetables. Husbands, older kids, younger kids, yourself, whatever you need to do to get those veggies in. So the one article was talking about a person's 2-year-old and how the best way to get them to eat veggies is to show them a good example and to include them in meal prep, and they'll see you eating a salad, so they'll eat a salad, and if you get them helping to wash the leaves, blah blah blah. I'm like, that's great. I have an almost 2-year-old and I eat salad in front of him and he's having nothing to do with it. So great, I totally am on board with the being a good example to your kids, and if you don't eat vegetables, how can you expect them to eat vegetables? But what do you do when you're doing all of those things and your child still won't eat vegetables, or your husband still won't eat vegetables? The second article was coming from a good place, but it was written by a new mom who had a 4.5-month-old baby. And she was talking about how she's going to be that mom who is making her child eat healthy snacks when they're out and about, and is only going to make homemade baked goods. And they're basically going to, give their child the healthiest of the healthiest, and that means that the child's going to grow up eating all these healthy foods. Well, that's all well and good when your child's 4.5 months old and isn't eating any solids yet, but like I said with my 21-month-old son, he's just starting to hit the terrible twos. And he's now figured out that he has a brain, and that he has choices, and that mommy and daddy can put vegetables in front of him, but that doesn't mean that he's going to eat it. So what he does is he lovingly takes my homemade food and he throws it on the floor. So it's not even that I can eat it for leftovers, it's like on the floor where all of his, dirt tracks and everything's been dragged through the mud, and I'm not about to scrape it off the floor and eat it. So I've had to come up with some creative ways of how to get him to try the new foods, and I know that it can take upwards of 10 times for a child to try some foods before they like it. But I was just really kind of upset with these articles because they're basically shaming other moms, making you feel like you weren't good enough if you weren't feeding your child healthy veggies and healthy foods, and they weren't giving any actual practical tips to get your child to try new things and try these new vegetables. It was really this whole, mommy shaming thing of that I'm better than you and you're not good enough, and it just, me even being a nutritionist and really, putting a focus on having my son eat healthy foods, it even made me feel bad. So if it's making me feel bad, it's definitely making probably every other mom out there who's just trying to do her best, just trying to make it through the day. So what I'm going to show you today is currently the only way that my son Alex will eat anything green, and this is kale pesto. I'm not going to lie, I tried this the first time with him and I'm like, there's no way that he's going to eat it. He's obsessed with noodles, so I thought, okay, I'll try it. I'll do half of his noodles plain because I don't even know if he's going to like it. I'll do half the other noodles with the pesto on it. And I thought it might be too strongly flavored for him, but he was licking it off the noodles. We use it as a pasta sauce, we use it as a pizza sauce, he scoops it up off the pizza. I know that he loves it, and I feel a little bit better knowing that he's getting something good into him. So I have my handy dandy food processor. If you don't have one, God, please go get one. Make sure it has a slicer and a grating attachment. And I'm going to show you how to make it. So right now I have 2 cloves of peeled whole garlic. Please don't use the stuff in the jar that's already cut up with the nasty soy oil. Get actual garlic heads, cut it up. You don't even have to chop it, just put it in the food processor. We're going to run it through first to chop it up finer. Otherwise you're going to get big chunky pieces of garlic. So it's nice and fine in there. I have kale. This happens to be from my garden. Before you go like, oh my god, she's got a garden, she's perfect. No, basically the only thing we know how to grow is greens, so we just kind of put seeds in the ground and it grows like wildfire. So we don't have anything else other than greens. So we're taking all of our kale and using it and doing it this way because this is kind of the only way we can use it up in huge quantities. So I have about 2 cups of kale. It's just washed, it's kind of roughly torn up into pieces. And I'll show you the quick way to get your kale. You don't want to really eat the stem. You can steam it for longer if you want, but it is a little woody. Just hold one end where the leaf starts, hold the other end of the stem, and just pull. and you'll pull it right off. So just put that in there. So then we have, this is, 2 cups of kale, 2 cloves of garlic. This is a half a cup of hemp seeds. These are full of protein, full of calcium, full of healthy omega-3 fats. You can use pine nuts, they're super expensive. You can use sunflower seeds. My son has a peanut allergy, so these are peanut free, and they're just more nutritious than half the other stuff out there and higher in protein. So when we're having a meat-free meal, I feel okay that he's getting some. So just add that in, nothing special. Turn your food processor back on. Now, it's not really going to go very well in the beginning. You have to add your olive oil. So good quality olive oil. This is, President's Choice, Splendito, basically. Cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. You don't necessarily want to heat this. It's going to be healthier when it's unheated, and the way that we're doing this, just putting it on cooked noodles, it'll keep it in its healthiest state. So there's the little hole in the top of the food processor. That's what this is made for. Turn it on and put the olive oil in. I just add it until it gets to a good consistency. As you add more, it'll start getting smoother, and just take it to whatever consistency you want. If you want it thicker, add less. If you want it thinner, add more. You're probably going to use about, I'd say, 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup. I don't measure, honestly. So we're just going to do that. Scrape down the sides. And this is a pretty thin pesto. Usually I make it thicker, but that's fine because sometimes you'll add a little bit of the cooking water from pasta. I use gluten-free pasta. Use any pasta that you want. I'm going to add in some salt and pepper now. So this is real salt. Use Himalayan pink sea salt, Celtic gray sea salt. You want something that has the extra minerals, hasn't been processed. So I add in about a teaspoon. You want it well flavored, and your pasta doesn't have much flavor. And just some freshly ground black pepper, so like, let's say 1/2 teaspoon, or a double batch, which is what this is. If you're gonna get your food processor dirty, might as well make a double or a triple batch. Perfect! Dinner is ready. You just need to cook the noodles. What I do, because like I said, you don't need very much. You need like, a spoonful, let's say. About this size. This is bigger than it's about a tablespoon, so you need about that for a single serving. So this by far will be like a double or even a triple batch, depending on how much pasta you're making. What I do is I freeze the rest in ice cube trays. So this is what I have, and I freeze it because we have all this kale now. Well, kale's not going to be in season, or we'll have to wait till the fall, till it comes back into season. So I freeze it in ice cube containers, and then you can pop them out, put them in a Ziploc bag, label it with the date and what it is, because again, you'll forget in the freezer. And then you can pull it out and just defrost it in single servings. So you don't need to pull out a whole thing. If not everyone's eating the pesto, you don't have to waste all of it. You can put on gluten-free rice noodles, spelt noodles, kamut noodles, regular whole wheat or regular pasta noodles, homemade. You can even do raw zucchini noodles or sweet potato noodles. You can use it as a pizza sauce. You can dip veggies in it. This is a great summertime treat, no cooking required, and I really hope this is a nice way for you getting some veggies into maybe those veggie eaters that need some creativity to spark their taste interest. Also, this is will be a separate post or on my Instagram or on my Facebook. You can roast veggies, will bring out that sweetness. I just roasted some snow peas yesterday, which seems kind of out of the ordinary, but they were so delicious. Just a little bit of coconut oil, salt and pepper. That's a good way, kind of replacing chips for some kids or some adults that aren't veggie lovers to taste that and try it. So get a little bit creative. Don't feel bad if not everyone's eating the veggies. It takes some time for the taste buds to come around. I hope this has helped. You can do this with arugula, Swiss chard, watercress, or the regular basil if you want to. Hope this has helped. Send any questions in the comments below, and I will see you next time.